Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay, a brand new day. Our planet continues to rotate on its axis, and then rotate around the sun, and the sun continues rotating around the center of the galaxy. All of our galaxies are in slow, gentle motion around whatever they're rotating towards and around. We are moving as the local cluster towards something known as the Great Attractor, and yet, excuse me, there are these great threads of galaxies and universal material stretching all throughout the entire visible universe. So, thumbs up, we're all part of one great tapestry of creation. Thumbs up for that. Not a lot has happened since yesterday. I spent most of yesterday just existing. Not in a bad way. I mean, I felt good. I was doing various things. I played various games. I thought of things. I did videos. I've edited. I've thought about what to do for my channel and life and things that I need to take care of. And just on the whole, I'm still kind of flooded with stuff because I spent like almost 2 weeks just dead. I was not able to process up in my head. I mean, up until like this last Sunday. That's only been a couple of days that I've been, getting back up to running speed. I was just, even taking all of my ADHD meds, I was so sick that it was like I had taken nothing at all. So I'm getting back up to running speed. I'm thinking, I'm trying to do things, but I haven't thought of a whole bunch of stuff since. Now, the thing that I have thought about, and I do want to talk about is a game, but not so much about what happens in the game. I want to talk about game making and game level making and maps and old games and new games and what's happening. Because there is the game Ion Fury. Now, I like the game Ion Fury. I'm not so thrilled about the devs. I'm kind of unhappy about them. They made homophobic and transphobic jokes in the game. When they were called on it, the first thing they said was, "You're right, we're going to take that stuff out." Then the anti-SJW alt-right reactionaries went ballistic, and then they just said, "No, we're not going to do that," and leaned into it. Not thrilled with the devs, but I already bought the game. So I've been playing it on and off, and the first boss I've never been able to get past. But the game is good, and they use a modified version of the 20-year-old build engine that they did Duke Nukem and Blood and Shadow Warrior, and to a lesser degree things like Redneck Rampage, which I still love as a game series, but that's another day. They're using that old tech because people have been so fascinated by it, and the source code was released. There have been various forks of the engine, so they have something called the E-Duke engine, which is a modified version of the build engine, so it can do more. Ion Fury, the game that came out and is coming out with an expansion, uses the modified form of the build engine, and so it's the first commercially released build engine in like over 20 years. They did such a good job on this. There is almost seamless blending of levels. You don't have just one small level and then it ends and they give you stats. They have huge levels. And then when you leave one, it just has a quick loading thing to come up with the next huge level. They're connected almost seamlessly in that fashion. And then they break down the entire episode for a "this part of the adventure is done" sort of thing, to tell you how well you've done for that whole thing. And you'll have gone through about 4 or 5 huge maps. They've done very, very well on that. And in fact, most games, most people don't play them all the way through. Especially today with so much stuff coming out, most people barely will play a game at all. I still have games that I've bought a long time ago that I've never even fired up. So after having played to the first boss and never been able to even make a dent in it, I bumped it down to its lowest level and I started playing. Got to that boss, and it's not altogether clever of a boss fight. It's a big boss in the middle of a large area, hazards at the outside, so you gotta be careful where you run or you fall into toxic stuff and take damage. There are a million other enemies that are spawning around, so you've got 1,000 things shooting at you, and it's just not altogether that clever, but if you take care of stuff and you dodge and you duck and you weave, you should be able to do it. I've never been able to. Got it down to the lowest level. Beat the boss. On Steam, only about 28% of everyone who's ever bought the game has made it that far. At which point, after I beat the boss, I said, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep playing. I'm going to beat the game. Remember, I mentioned this before I started talking, and I mentioned it just then. I was only of 28% of the people who beat the first boss, and that's about the way it goes. And the higher you go and the deeper you go into a game, the fewer people play it and make it that far. So as I'm playing, the number of people that have made those achievements is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. In fact, I did one thing where I noticed as I was running through that there was a dartboard. And one of the things that happens with it, the build engine games, is you have massive interactivity built right into it. So I went over to the dartboard, I grabbed the dart, aimed and threw it at the dartboard. It threw the dart. I made a bullseye, and I got an achievement for it. One of only 7% of people who have played the game have done. So as I'm going through, fewer and fewer and fewer people have made these achievements. But most people who make games, because they know that the people who are playing the game are slowly dropping off, so there's fewer and fewer people. Most people who dev the games don't put a lot of effort into the late game stuff because so few people are going to make it there. The people who made Ion Fury did not slow down. In fact, at about the 3/4 point of the game, when most people have dropped off, and I was starting to hit achievements where it was like 20% of the people who have bought the game have made it this far. 17% of the people have made it this far. Smaller and smaller amount, but the things that they were doing in-game became more and more impressive. One of the things that they do in a lot of games when they want to flex is to have a mirror, because mirrors can be tough to do in programming, especially with your engine. The build engine can do mirrors, but you have to play games. Usually if you have a mirror, it's just a mirrored sector, and that's just a window. So what's over here, they just have to mirror image it and then have an image of you mirroring your movement in this other room. So it looks like a mirror, but it's just a window into another room. At the 3/4 point in the game, I went into this one room and it had not one mirror in it, 2 mirrors in it. And not only were these 2 mirrors in the same room, they were back to back on an object in the center of the room. There was no room inside of there to mirror the sector inside, especially since you could go to the other side of it and there was a mirror over that way. I personally have no ideas how on earth they did this, but that was a mad flex. Because if you know the build engine, if you know anything about programming, if you know about map making, and you know the limitations of the engine that are there, that is a mad flex. And so few people are even going to see it. Especially since in the middle of that, it's in a room where you didn't actually have to go in. It was optional. And they kept that sort of thing up all the way through it. The maps never got simplistic and cheap. They kept tricks that were just flexes all the way through. Boss battle was the very end game boss battle. No, boss battles are goofy anyway. I mean, I both like and dislike them, because in any sort of non-video game thing, you don't have that. There's no boss battles in real life. If there is, it's not somebody who's like this compared to everybody else. It's, someone who's like this. Then that's a boss battle, and but this was a big boss battle. And then, like I said, not greatly clever, but there was stuff that you could do that was clever inside of it. And then it ended. Now, it could have ended better. It was like a series of comic book panels that showed the story of the very, very end. And it was quick, it was fast, it was cheap, but it came to a satisfying end. Unlike the game Dusk, which I really like, where one fellow did everything, maps and all that, where there's 3 episodes to the game Dusk. The third one does a lot of very clever stuff that ends up being kind of frustrating. And then the last levels of it are just, oh, here's a big room, I'll spawn in all the monsters in time. And then that's it. So you clear that, you go to the next one, and it's another big arena where all the monsters spawn in through time. Okay, so you take care of that, you head on to the next, where it's just another big arena, and it's like, I understand why it's hard to design clever levels, but it ends up, for me, extremely disappointing, the game Dusk. Ion Fury, never disappointed. And the secrets in this are incredible. They're amazing. They're everywhere. I mean, they did not stop with the quality, as most devs do, toward the end or at any point. They went from tight, cramped interior quarters to outside cityscape such, and they were pulling surprises out all the time. So I'm just amazed. And yeah, I'm on the PC platform, one of the less than 20% of the people who bought the game who beat it. Now, I do want to play it and beat it on harder levels, because I played it on the very easiest level, and it was not easy. It was tough. And they have, well, first person platforming is not easy, and it can be difficult, and there's a lot, if you want to get the secrets, of first person platforming. So there's a lot of quick save and then jump, quick load, jump, quick load, jump, quick load, because you may feel the jump being just right, but then you miss anyway. So thumbs up on that. But that's enough about me just gushing over a game that very few people are going to play and very few people are going to beat. But I'm already up to the first boss again on the next difficulty level. I got to see if I can do that. If I can't, then that's fine. That's fine. There's achievements I'll never get, but that's fine. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people, and if I mispronounce the username, I'm very sorry. And with my depression and fibro and such, I'm sometimes lucky I can even remember how I'm counting to 25. But I'm tripping on 500 milligrams of DXM. Oh my fucking god. Thank you very much. Mr. Shabby Crimstone, thumbs up and thank you. Alec Katzmarek, I sure hope I'm close. Thank you very much. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. Nikki J, thumbs up. And then we have Charles Brown, thumbs up. QTB, thumbs up and thank you. That one Bespin guard that died, just one. I thought all of them did. Thank you very much. We had the baddest bitch build with a 1 instead of an I, thumbs up. Colin Reisner, thumbs up. Dara O'Flanagan, greatly appreciated. Made in Canada, thumbs up and thank you. Good to see you. Blaze McKenzie, thumbs up. We have Tom Carter, greatly appreciated. Henry Giovanetto, greatly appreciated. Brother Box, thumbs up. And Jimmy Bob, greatly appreciated. We have Jordan, I sure hope I'm close, thumbs up. And Honor, thumbs up and thank you. FRGSTA, greatly appreciated. And then we have Darth Diabetes, laughing at the name, I like that one, thumbs up. And then there's Lord of Sadness, greatly appreciated. Christopher Thomas, thumbs up. There is Nora Eld, thumbs up and thank you. And then there is Crystal Phillips, thumbs up and thank you. Each and every one of you get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, if only in text. That is appreciated to no end. Could check out my various links, Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com. If you could become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. And if you'd like to help me out financially without sending money through the patronage, I do have a PayPal link down below. If you'd like to help me out without sending money at all, I have an Amazon wishlist link. Do not feel entitled. I do not feel obligated. There we go. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. And of course, if you can hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. Well, woof. I'm still a little out of breath because my lungs, while getting them better, aren't up to full snuff yet. I'm feeling absolutely great with just a tailing end pulling me down, so thumbs up on that. If you have to go out, please maintain your social distancing. Wear a mask, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, get vaxxed if you can, and watch out for the people that are unmasked and unvaxxed, because right now in the United States, we're brewing something bad. So, good golly, Miss Molly. You take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.